Hey guys, welcome to episode 15 of the Daily BE, and today we're talking a little bit about neckties. Neckties have kind of gone away in recent years, right? I'm not even wearing one. I think in 15 episodes of BE, I've worn a necktie once. Is that right? I think that's right, actually. And we don't see them very often. Usually you see the open collar look. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. I think if you look at the history of menswear, it's very cyclical in nature, where, back in the 50s and 60s, you were almost required to wear a tie all the time. Even if you walked out of the house, you had to have a tie on. And they're very, very narrow, right? They're about like that. And today we kind of see that same popularity in the very skinny ties. But back in the 90s, when I was a kid, this is one of my actual ties. I thought I'd show you guys. This looks huge today. This was about 3 3/4 inches at the widest point. And it just looks absurd today, right? It's so big. And yet back in the 90s, this was very much what people were wearing. This was the status quo. And since then, ties have gotten a little bit narrower. Not too much if you really measure them, but enough to make quite a visual difference. This is very much what a modern necktie looks like. This is about 3 inches at the widest point, and anything narrower than this is usually going to be classified as a skinny tie. There's still a range out there, but for the most part, this is your typical modern necktie, and this is going to match the lapel width of your suit, which is that careful geometry game that we keep playing. So neckties, where do they go? You can almost say they just got so skinny they just disappeared, but they are still around. And personally, I like to wear ties every now and again, and because I rarely do, those few times that I do put one on, it just feels good. It feels nice to wear one again, and it is kind of a fun feeling to be dressed up like that again. But the key thing to remember is that we're a little bit more casual overall with the tie going away, but at the same time, I don't think much has changed in the sense of how dressed up we really are. And suits are still around, sport coats, blazers, still very popular. That's not going to go away. And yet, it all comes down to what you want to do, right? If you want to wear a tie and you love neckties, then wear one. It doesn't matter what the guy over here is doing or the guy over here at the office or wherever. You do you and they can do them. And whatever you feel good wearing is what's important, right? That's the essence of style, right? Is what makes you feel good and happy is your thing. And if it's a necktie, great. If it's not, that's fine too. So give that some thought. Neckties, I guess the takeaway of this message is that neckties are not as popular as they once were, but it shouldn't really mean anything to you. If you want to wear them, and you certainly will, I think, on a handful of occasions, because there will always be a time and a place where wearing a tie is required or expected of you, but it comes down to what you want to do. And I'm hanging on to my great big ties from my earlier years because you never know, maybe someday in the future menswear will come back in the style to wear these big ones again. We'll see. Alright guys, don't forget to subscribe. We will be back with another video. We are trying every single weekday, and so far we have almost done that pretty perfectly. I've been very impressed with myself and Brett for getting this together. Alright, we'll be back soon. Have a great day.